Rodgers played at the very end. Are you more concerned that it took every last second for them to beat C.J. Beathard and the 49ers?
Well, hearing people talk about this game, and they keep coming back to C.J. Beathard and the 49ers, and they're 1-4, and it's right before the bye week. It's that type of conversation that happens in a locker room that creates a game like we had last night, where the team is sitting around going, they're 1-4, they're traveling across country, it's the week before our bye, they've got their backup quarterback.
I'm going to take my brace off potentially after the bye week. I'm going to ask the doctor.
Yeah, you start thinking about things besides the professional football team that's coming in, and as soon as you underestimate anybody in the NFL, you've got real problems. And a lot of times it's about somewhere in the third quarter when they wake up and think, oh, we're in a game. We need to do something. But you fired up the other team. You've given them life. You've given them hope. And the whole dynamic changes. And you're in a dogfight when you probably shouldn't be. Now, Aaron Rodgers, did I think that what he did is impressive? Yeah, but he's pretty consistent with his ability to do things like that. And as soon as they got the ball back and they were in that first draw and they picked up 10 yards, like, uh-oh, they've got a real problem here.
Yeah, and that's not a great defense he was going against. Like, I wasn't surprised at all. I was surprised that it came down to that.
Yeah.
These great quarterbacks, if you watch them, you watch these 2-minute drills, you can't hit the quarterback, you can't jam them after 5 yards. Well, there ain't no way to stop them on the 2-minute drive. All right? If you look at Drew Brees, look at what Brady did Sunday night, look what Aaron did twice last night. These 2-minute drives, man, they are a joke in this football.
Hold on. But with that said, see, you were saying before the game, there were things the Niners on that last of the 2-minute drives, the game-winning drive, that defensively they could have done smarter. That they were playing their defense like they were up 4 instead, like only a touchdown would beat them rather than a field goal.
When you're playing a mobile quarterback, you cannot play 2-man, where the guys are taking away the inside and playing underneath the shallow routes, because it gives away the sideline, the out, and it gives away the quarterback run. What Aaron Rodgers see? You looked at the wide receivers on the first one, he wasn't going to throw that ball. Ran straight up the middle, the biggest play to be able to get those. You got to be able to stop guys at the beginning of those 2-minute drives. I haven't seen any pressure of late in the NFL. When they start these 2-minute drives, they think, oh, we're going to play conservative, and those prevent defenses are preventing teams from getting guys off the field at the end of these games.
Well, what happened, you heard Aaron Rodgers talk about in the post-game press conference, that first play when they were backed up.
They were playing for overtime.
Yeah, and those plays are called, you stick your toe in the water. So you run a play. If the play hits for 10 yards or more.
You're trying to get one first down.
Yeah, but if the first play hits, suddenly everything changes dramatically, and that's what happened. They ran the ball, it hit, things changed. Now they're in a true 2-minute mode. The other thing is you get a illegal contact penalty on 3rd and 15. To me, that there's
what led to that play, Coach?
Richard
3rd and 15.
Sherman decided he was going to go into the slot and he was going to take away the receiver and he was going to tell everybody else, I got this, I got this. It's 3rd and 15 and he pulls the shoulder and like why?
So but you were talking, this really frustrates you just as a coach and about the philosophy, because and I didn't pick this up obviously in real time, but he went against what he was supposed to do on that play. You were saying 10 guys know their job, and Richard Sherman saying, wait, I'm going to freelance here. I'm taking him.
Well, looking at it on TV, it looked like he patted his chest and said, I'm going to go take this guy. And then the other guys were scrambling around like he was going to call a shot. He was going to handle the problem. And then he goes inside, and he handled the problem, all right? He handled it for Green Bay and gave him a first down on 3rd and 15. If you're going to go call your shot and you're going to go against what everybody else is doing and what you've practiced in that situation, then you better you better hit it out of the park. And then when this happens, it's just wrong.
And by the way, if there's not illegal contact right there, the Niners, you see, have 3 timeouts. There's 43 seconds. That's a sack on 3rd and 15. They're in great shape. They're punting, and they have a chance to have their own version of a 30-second drive to try a last-second field goal.
Yeah, with 3 timeouts. You can throw it anywhere you want, and you've got a great opportunity to win the game.
So, yeah, the Packers won, but you ask yourself, do I trust this team moving forward? They got a bye. Coming up, they got the Rams and the Patriots on the road. How much do you trust that this Packers team is going to be okay just because he's healthy?
No, they're not going to be okay. I don't expect them to be okay. In the NFC, where you have so many quality quarterbacks, yeah, there are teams that have a wart. They have a unit that they don't like. They have a part of the game that they don't necessarily feel is their strong suit. But Green Bay's got plenty of holes. Running the football. They got gashed last night, giving up big plays in critical situations, and they got a lot of draft capital in their defensive backfield. They cannot run the football. So now a team that plays in Green Bay, I know people don't believe in global warming. Okay, I don't care what you believe in. It gets cold there. How can you win in Green Bay without a running game? All right? You can't rely on Aaron Rodgers to throw for 400 yards because it's just not sustainable to be able to do in bad weather, being on the road. It's just not something you can depend on.
And their offensive line right now, to me, is playing far worse than it did last year, which is one of the reasons Rodgers is running for his life. You're right that I look at the schedule, and Rodgers said after the game, he said on the field to Leslie Visser, he said, we got the bye, and then we'll see what we're made of with the tough stretch we have coming up, meaning what Jim is talking about, at the Rams, at the Patriots. They can't beat good teams playing like this. I know that you don't want it. The Niners, they are a professional team. I get that. But C.J. Beathard, even under the great coaching of Kyle Shanahan, had been a bad NFL quarterback. He was 1-6 with a 71 rating in his career leading up to last night. Played the best game of his career against the Green Bay Packers in a game the Packers absolutely had to have.
Okay, Brock Osweiler, who nobody really was, is in love with, played really well against the Chicago Bears, which is the #1 defense.
Right.
They're professional football players. Those things happen.
No, of course they happen, right? But that's part of the reason they happen is because the Green Bay defense didn't play well. That's the point I'm making. It's not just that all of a sudden C.J. Beathard became dramatically better. Yes, he played better than he typically would, but also the Green Bay Packers defense allowed some of those things to happen, made some critical mistakes to where in a game they had to have, they needed Aaron Rodgers to save them twice.
You just can't go out and put the uniform on and think everybody's going to bow down to you because you're in Lambeau Field and you're the Green Bay Packers. If you underestimate someone and you take them lightly, then you're going to have real problems, no matter who you're playing against.
Yeah, it was fairly obvious in that game last night, especially through the first half, that they had taken them lightly.
Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Coming up.